as Young Australian of the Year in 2011. Are you able to bring any of your experiences from that year to your studies? How do they interact?
Yeah, it's only now that I'm really looking back and realising what a huge impact that year of Young Australian of the Year had on me. You know, at the time it was such a whirlwind, but now I'm looking back and realising that all the people I met along the way, because it's such a busy year of sort of touring and going to all these different events and a lot of schools and different states, and yeah, the people I got to meet along the way, I'm kind of going, they have all had, you know, an impact on me and exposed me to some different things, and of course a lot of really selfless people doing some really incredible things. So that's been really important, I think, when I look at, you know, again, who I've become now.
I went back and had a look at the video of you receiving the award from Julia Gillard, and you made such a fantastic speech on that occasion. I would recommend that to everybody who's able to access that and go back and have a look at what you said, the way you said it, the way you presented yourself. It was fantastic. So that belief in yourself that's clearly there, how is that going to impact on your future career path, do you think?
Yeah, there's definitely the belief in myself, which obviously I had to have a lot of to sail around the world. And it's not just a blind confidence, though. It's, you know, it's because I spent years preparing, and then it is something that I'm sort of going again now to have the confidence to sort of pursue the business and other challenges I want to take on. It's not a matter of just having confidence for the sake of it. It needs to be informed, and I suppose that's why I am studying and I am doing this MBA, is to kind of give myself that backing and to go, you do know this is what you don't know, and to give myself that confidence. That
4 years that you put in terms of preparation is indicating a strong capability. Do you think that's developable in other people, that preparation?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, the first thing people sort of say to me is, you know, how do you have the confidence? How do you sail around the world? It's such a huge risk. But as soon as you actually understand the risks, and that does take some time, you have that confidence and you can make a quite informed decision. And I think you see it in other people and everything they do as well, that it's only sort of through learning and then through preparation that you have that confidence to take on new challenges.
So what led you to start an MBA? What was the pathway that got you thinking about an MBA?
I suppose I sat down, it was probably the end of last year, and I sort of started thinking about what I want to do with my next couple of years, and I came to the conclusion that I just wanted to learn as much as possible, as fast as possible. So I sort of tossed up my options for whether there would be a role that I would be able to learn a huge amount in, and tried out a few different options, talked to a lot of people, and eventually came to the conclusion that an MBA, as well as a few different work roles at the same time, would be probably one of the best ways to learn as fast as possible.
One of the goals that we've encouraged you to look at is the goal that you're thinking about in terms of your MBA. What goals have you set for the MBA for you?
Yeah, it's a challenge for me, I suppose, and a huge learning opportunity. I mean, I think there's a lot of people, you know, the day after I got back from sailing around the world and finished a few of the other sailing adventures and projects I've been part of, everyone asks, what's next? You know, what are you going to do next? And you know, I've always had these goals, but the funny thing is I don't think going out and sailing around the world again or doing it backwards would have really challenged me. I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, but I really wanted to put myself completely out of my comfort zone in other ways since those adventures, to challenge myself in different ways. And study has been that for me, and it continues to be that, because it's something that was so unfamiliar for me and really pushes me in a whole new way. It would have been almost a bit boring and easy to continue taking on other sailing adventures. Not that that's my last by any means. So this for me is really about challenging myself and stretching myself in a new way. And there are a whole lot of goals and, you know, career goals that's going to help me work towards. And even some of my passions, like getting more people out on the water sailing. You know, these are the sort of skills that are going to be very useful for seeing those kinds of things happen.
Why did you identify the AIM Business School as a potential provider for you?
I saw the way the MBA allowed so much flexibility, and I particularly loved that there was that option to actually study partly online and partly in person, because ideally I'd love to be here in person as much as possible, but it's just not possible all the time. So I think my theory is to try and do the hard subjects that I need a little more help with in person, and then the others online when I can.
So the online study option has been good for you in terms of that flexibility?
I've always loved studying online because of the flexibility it does give me. I'm in another state most other weeks on the road quite a lot, so being able to just take it with me has been fantastic. I like independent study, but it's also very nice to know that there are people there for you, and it has felt a lot more like you're part of a group than I thought. It's been really very supportive.
So you've studied leading, managing and developing people with me, and that was done online. How did you find that experience? What was the highlight and lowlight of that for you?
Studying leading, managing, developing people online was just fantastic. It was my first subject and I didn't quite know what to expect, and obviously it's, say it to you while you're here, but you were the highlight, there's no doubt about that, having such a great facilitator who makes everyone feel so welcome and that he is there for you. Sorry about the third person. That was really the great thing, is you were online, but just knowing that you've got somebody who is so willing to help really made a big difference.
And the subject that you're doing face-to-face at the moment?
Managing financial resources.
Mm-hmm. And how's that treating you?
This was a subject I was pretty scared of. Finance is not a strong point for me, but I have just been so pleasantly surprised with how helpful it's been. It's been challenging. It's been quite challenging. I've really had to put some time into a few of the assignments and concepts, but a lot of aha moments where I'm suddenly going, oh my gosh, the accountant suddenly makes sense. And that has just been such an incredible experience to actually have that confidence to know what's going on in this whole sort of field. I felt like it was another language before this subject. From
what I know from our time together so far, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy the strategy subjects. I think you have a business brain that is eager to get out there and really get involved in those ventures that you've been talking about. How do you think your AIM Business School MBA will help you with that?
Every assignment, every piece of work, every reading so far has been something that I've felt like it applies to what I'm doing, which is just wonderful, or applies to a different part of my life. So my role with the startup I'm working with, the public speaking that I do, a couple of the other roles I have, it's just there's things that I'm kind of pulling from everything and applying it straight away. And the wonderful thing about working on the assignments and actually using what you're doing as a case study has just been so fantastic. You don't feel like you're putting aside this time to do an assignment, you actually feel like you're working as well. So this month happens to be 6 years since you finished your big sailing journey that sort of made you famous in Australia. How have you reflected on those 6 years since? This year kind of crept up on me. Somebody sort of lets me know every year, do you know what you were doing 5, 6 years ago? And this one's an interesting one because it really is starting to be a while. And I suppose I look back and it's been such a busy few years, 6 years. And I've changed so much in those 6 years. And so many people say, oh, don't change. But I think it's the most fantastic thing. And I couldn't have imagined who I would have become now. So I think it's exciting. I've also had a lot of fun in the last few years, so I'm ready to sort of start taking on some more challenges and pushing myself again as well.